So the name of the podcast is Level Up and Live, and we've said it so many times. I say it all the time. It's on our t-shirts. It's everywhere. I've got the tattoo. No, I don't have the tattoo yet, but
not yet.
But not yet. At some point, Stare It Down might be on my body permanently at some point. But I was thinking about it. Leveling up. It's a very common phrase. And why do we say it? Why is it said all the time? And I wanted to simplify it to its most simple core. Why do we say it? Why do we talk about it? If you are not where you want to be currently, if you don't have what it is that you want, there's only one way to get it. And there's only one reason you don't have it right now is because you've not become the person you need to be. And the only way you can get there is by leveling up. We all know what it means, right? Innately, we know what level up means. It means I'm going to have to climb up. I'm going to have to learn something new. I'm going to have to go from where I am upwards. I'm going to have to get something extra in my life. And that's the only way we get better at sport, get better at relationships, get better at business, get better at anything, is leveling up each moment, each day, each rep. And it's a lot of failure, a lot of pain, because it doesn't feel good leveling up. Feels great once you're there. Feels fantastic. In fact, it's worth everything and more once you experience it. But until you get there, pain is involved. In today's episode, seek pain, avoid the pleasure, fail all the way to success. And that's the only way to get to success. This isn't some masochistic, you're going to hurt yourself. I think we say the word pain, we need to disassociate the word, this is going to hurt, with separating it from pain. Like, this pain should be your friend. This pain should be an indicator of awesomeness. This pain is taking me somewhere. And we need to associate comfort and what feels good, the pleasure. We need to associate that with hurting, deeply hurting, with our results, with how we feel in life, how we feel. And today, that's what we're talking about. And by the time we're done, hopefully you will be hugging pain, pushing away pleasure, and getting after success. So, Sean, take it away.
Yeah, so this reminds me of getting back from our High Rocks World Championship from France. And I came back, and I remember getting back here. I was like, all right, I'm going to take a couple days off, recover, rest, refuel. And immediately within like 24 to 48 hours, I was like, I feel good. I'm getting a lot of sleep. I'm getting comfortable. Things are pleasurable right now. And immediately this was a red flag. I was like, I should not be complacent. I should not be feeling comfortable right now. Because what happens is, in my mind, and from what I've learned, is when you get in that complacency, when you get in that comfortability, when you get in that place of everything is fine, everything is good, everything is great, saying that over and over and over again, to me, that's almost getting content, complacent. And I need to flip the switch and go, no. You need to get discomfort, brother. You need to get uncomfortable again. You need to challenge yourself again.
Yeah.
Because it was too easy coming back and just relaxing, resting on my laurels, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, right?
Yeah.
Well, I got to keep plugging myself in. I got to keep getting discomfort. So immediately, I'm a big believer in God works in mysterious ways. If somebody sends me a text message, if somebody sends me a phone call, if somebody sends a link to me, invites me to a challenge, maybe I say yes, maybe I say no. Depending on the time and the situation, I look at God works in mysterious ways. Hey, it's time to get at discomfort. And this is what happened when I got back from Nice. I got invited to a triathlon. I shared a video with you and Isaiah. And immediately, Isaiah sent a text message back and said, hey, I'm doing a triathlon this Saturday if you guys want to join. And immediately I thought, I took 24 hours. I was like, I don't want to make a rash decision, but I knew that I subconsciously needed to get discomfort again, uncomfortable again.
Yep.
And with the triathlon, you have to swim, bike, and run. And so I immediately signed up. Fast forward 48 hours in advance before we hit the triathlon, before we got to the race on Saturday, this past Saturday, my nerves were going. HRV started suppressing. It was like a slide going down from
when did
Monday
you see
to Friday.
Through the week you saw your HRV go down, and you think it was mental?
100% psychologically. Yes,
dude.
Psychologically, my HRV was getting suppressed. My resting heart rate was going up, meaning because I was psychologically thinking and putting myself in this uncomfortable position. I got to swim 800 meters, and I just started training 3 days before going to a triathlon to compete in an 800-meter race, half a mile race. Who does that? Right? And
I don't know,
here's the thing. If you're a business owner and entrepreneur, that's what happens to you. You get put in uncomfortable positions. You get put in uncertainty. You have to adapt. You have to evolve. And if you're not prepared for it, it could be for the economy. It could be your biggest customer leaves you and sends you an email the next day that's providing 80% of your revenue. And they say, I'm out, I'm canceling, I'm going to another competitor. You better have the mental discomfort to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
If you're going to be in a comfortable state, complacent, resting on your laurels, that is why you're going to go out of business, is because you're not growing yourself and looking yourself in the mirror. And the only way that you grow yourself is because you have to continue to put yourself in discomfort.
I just heard there, business isn't business. Business isn't numbers. Business is human nature. It's people, right? The result of someone's business is the same as a human being's result. If with everything you just said, you know what I took away from that is, oh man, this is cool. When we got back from France, felt kind of the same way. I was like, not quite sure what I'm going to do next. I didn't hit the weights. I was going to wait. I was going to just kind of chill and see what's going on. And I found myself not doing any of the training that we've been doing, obviously. And then it suddenly hit me. It was brewing within me that I knew I was going to do Dallas in November. And as soon as I had committed mentally, I was right back clear, focused. And all my actions started changing like immediately. There was no discipline involved. There was almost no willpower involved, which is just fascinating. What it taught me, and if I was to think back where this has happened before in my life, it was I had clarity on what I needed to, where I wanted to go. And if it was very, very clear, the vision of myself, who I needed to be to perform the way I wanted to perform, immediately changed all my actions. One of the biggest ones, cutting out sugar. Which is, I've quit so many difficult, addictive things before. Sugar, never done it. I haven't touched anything in 4 or 5 days. And it's not even an option anymore. It's not even on my radar because it's going to impact that vision that I must have in my life. And it was that clarity that got me focused. And you said the same thing. When you came back, you weren't sure. You could feel yourself slipping out into the comfort, seeking the pleasure and avoiding pain. Because there wasn't clarity. And that's true all the time. In fact, remember when you said you were on the couch and you felt lost, you had the business running itself, income coming in, you could vacation anytime you liked, had everything you had pursued, passive income, supporting your lifestyle. That's all you'd ever thought about. Yep. And that's when you realized, I'm not happy on the couch. Yep. You get a coach and he brought clarity to you. And then you became this person that can give clarity to other people. Your coaching is giving clarity to other people. And as soon as you get that clarity, and even though you are so good at it now, it happens over and over to every single person. You don't get clarity once and then it's over. It's new things will come up in your life and you need to have clarity again. Things end, things change. Like you said, if the economy comes and it changes everything up and you're not clear on where to go or what to do, you're going to suffer. You're going to struggle. That's real pain. Right. And so it's worth seeking the pain up front to make sure that you can avoid that. How do you do it? Getting clear on what it is that you want. Did it feel like that for you when you got that clarity of what, okay, now, yes, I'm doing the triathlon. Bang. Now it's game time. Clear. Did that feel like that?
Yeah. So man, when you're saying that, when you make that decision, I run, whether it's a challenge in a race, a triathlon, marathon, ultra, it's the same thing in business. So And it's funny because a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs, they're typically the people that I've worked with. They do some kind of exercise, they do some kind of challenge, just like our recent one, Brock, he does ultra, right? And runs a business. And the way I look at it is, okay, immediately I need to avoid pleasure and get directly into pain. That's signing up for a challenge. So I signed up for a challenge. Well, that's the same thing as me when I was sitting on the couch 8 years ago and going, everything's running like clockwork. I got money in the bank, business is running, customers are coming in. I'm doing the same thing over and over and then expecting different results. Why am I not feeling fulfilled? And so immediately when I hired the coach, that was painful for me because I had to drop $3,000. Here you go. So I swiped the card, took the money. I'd never spent $3,000 in my entire life. I was like, this money's gone. I don't know what's the intangible. I don't know what I'm going to get out of this. What's the return on investment? And then immediately that was the pain point. So now I took myself the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Same thing in the triathlon. When I signed up, swiped the card, paid the $200 for the triathlon, and immediately went, oh, this is happening.
It's like the dopamine like the adrenaline. Yes.
Whether you like it or not. Okay, cool. Well, the version of me that doesn't do that sits there on the couch, and the version that doesn't sign up for the triathlon versus the version that signs up for the triathlon and the guy that hires the coach, which version dominates the other guy?
Yeah.
So I've understood that as a business owner and entrepreneur, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So once I signed up to triathlon, I immediately went to, oh, I need guidance. I need support. Well, did I have enough time to go hire a coach, a swim coach? No. But I reached out to one of my resources. Shout out to my boy Isaiah, who's had swimming lessons. He said, no problem. I'll guide you. I'll train you. I'll come over within 24 hours and I will help give you some pointers and tips on how to swim. He did. And without that, I don't think I would have made it through the triathlon. If I would not have had any guidance, any support in that triathlon, I don't know if I would have survived that swim, that half a mile swim.
And he said something you didn't know, and this is ties in so beautifully. He said, "Hey, in your mind, you're like, oh, I'll come out the water and I'll start running, or I'll bike on pavement on a nice flat path." No, he told you it's going to be sandy. It's going to be dirty, which is significantly harder than it is to ride on flat ground. And so him being able to let you know that's huge. If you didn't know that, you would have got blindsided. You would have got sucker punched, but you knew it was coming because you had guidance and you had clarity on what was going to happen at that moment, and envisioning yourself, this is how I'll handle it, and I will prepare for that moment. And it's going to increase your chances of success, right? And just the whole thing ties into human nature, human thought processes. Like we do the same in business and in sport and relationships too. And it doesn't feel good at the time. Man, I don't want to steal this, so I'm going to let you say the oil change scenario. Could you tied in with the it's like kind of behind the scenes. Like, no one wants to do that hard work, but it's required.
Yeah. Well, it's like a well-oiled machine, right? On a car. It's like at the end of the day, if I'm thinking about it, it's like, oh, I got to go change the oil in my car or in my truck. That just sounds awful. You mean I got to go spend the time, energy, effort, get out of my car, go speak to somebody that I don't want to speak to at a mechanic shop and sit there for the next 30 to 60 to 90 minutes and then pay my, somebody to do this $60, $70. I've just wasted half my day to go get oil change that I literally is an intangible. I can't see him doing it. I just know that it needs to be done. That is painful. But the opposite side of that, the 180 of that is I don't do it. I just say, you know what? I'm just going to not stare it down, sweep it underneath the rug, and just keep driving. Never get an oil change. That's going to be the easy. That's going to be the comfortable way to go about it. What's going to end up happening to my truck?
Burnout.
Literally. It's going to blow up. Not if, but when.
Yeah.
So the pain is, hey, you know what? Let's go get this taken care of. Let me go get this machine, this engine. The analogy is myself as a business owner and entrepreneur. Let me go get this machine, this engine, this heart and soul of what I'm doing and get outside of what I'm used to doing on a daily basis in my business so I can pick my head up above water, take a breath of fresh air and hire that coach.
Yeah.
Join that group coaching, reach out for help so I can have that guidance and support to shed the light on the things that I cannot see. That's a blind spot. Here recently, go ahead. No, here recently, I told you I was talking to, I was at a salad place here locally in Conroe, and I wanted to take one of my coachees out to lunch. My favorite place in Conroe, man, Salada. Shout out to them. They always have a smile on their face. They know exactly what I like when I walk in there. The experience is just beautiful. They really make it really make it worth my $60 salad.
60, it feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I took one of my coaches out there and wanted to pour into him and because he's just doing big things, just becoming a huge authority figure in our community, and just so proud of him. So blocked off 60 minutes. We sat down, we started talking. He started sharing, we started diving deep. He started sharing a struggle or two, and I wanted to help guide him through that. Well, that wrapped up in about 60 minutes. And me, my heart and soul and my passion, if you lean in, I'll lean in. You take one step, I'll take two steps. And that's just kind of how I live my life. And the way I speak on podcasts, the way I speak on social media, my energy just like echoes through places. And it definitely echoed through Salada. I'm sitting there, we get up, we were fixing to leave. And this guy looks at us with a big smile and says, Are you a coach? And we both started laughing, or he goes, what do you guys do? And Micah goes, well, we do a little bit of everything, right? And we're in that entrepreneur journey. And he goes, oh, okay. And he kind of shared his story and what he was, what he does. He's an HVAC, and he's looking for a business coach. And so I said, and Micah's like, well, that's your guy right there speaking to me, pointing the finger at me. I was like, just, hey, we'll shook a hand here, give me your business card and I'll reach out. And if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me. Super passive, right? And because again, remember, if you lean in as a coachee, if you lean in as somebody that's wanting help, I will take two steps, but I will not take the initiative to try to reach out if you're not ready for help. Can't make him drink. Yeah. So I texted him and he texted me back. I sent him my link it was super simple, made it super simple. I made it, here's my link, here's my calendar, pick a date and time that works best for you. And we even have that in the show notes, the link. If anybody's interested, hey, here's the link if you're interested in talking. And so he reached out, booked a call for this past Monday. Today's Tuesday, July 2nd. We had a phone call, jumped on it, immediately started asking him some questions, what was going on, what his business looked like, what's working, what's not working. And immediately this guy was 26, reminded me of myself 5, 6, 7 years ago. The version of Sean that was very just prideful, very egotistical, and very just talk, not willing to ask any questions, not willing to be coachable, and basically thinking that I have everything figured out. Everything's going smoothly. And immediately I'm hearing this guy talk and he's saying all these different things. And I'm like, dude, this is me. This is Sean. This is Sean 7 years ago when I hired my coach. I was literally doing all the talking and thinking, oh, I've got everything figured out. I remember him sending the life map in the different areas of life. And I was like 8, 9, 10, everything just optimized. But at the end of the day, no. That's not how it really was. That wasn't the feeling. That wasn't what was going on inside myself. Yeah. Right. That was on the external forces. And so fast forward the phone call 45 minutes later, I finally said, after hearing this guy, I said, look, hey man, I'm gonna be completely transparent with you. I said, has anybody ever told you that you are super prideful, that you are super egotistical, meaning that you are not willing to be coached, meaning that you think you have it all figured out, but you're on the phone call. You're the one spending the time with me right now? ? Shut up. What do you think he said?
I'm going to say no one's ever told him that before.
Basically along those lines, right? It was an aha moment for him. It was the same moment that when my coach 3 years ago sent the email to me and told me, who are you trying to be, Sean? Are you Clark Kent or are you Superman? Which guy are you showing up right now? And immediately I was like, I felt offended. I was mad. I was upset. I was frustrated. I was like, who dare you to tell me that I'm Superman or Clark Kent?
Yeah.
But if I'm being honest and I'm doing I'm being Superman right now. I'm being very egotistical and prideful and thinking I'll have it all figured out and not willing to slow down and go fast. And when we had this conversation, it was the aha moment. Things had slowed down. Because what happens is we get in these businesses there's so much demand, there's so much responsibility. It's just day after day after day, we're doing everything we can to survive. We're doing everything we can to take care of employees, to take care of our community, our customers, our family. We never, and then here's the thing, Ewan, it becomes pleasurable. It becomes pleasurable because we see progress. We see money hitting the account. We see happy customers. We see happy team members. And then we look over here and go, oh, we're not happy. We're unfulfilled.
Yeah.
Because our ego and our pride is sitting here driving us.
Yeah. It was tied up in that result.
Yes.
The vision, you got exactly what you wanted. And that was the vision. But in fair to anyone that's in this situation, any business owner that thinks that, because we've not been taught, never experienced it. This is a path, a journey, like a rite of passage that you have to learn. You learned it young.
Yeah.
And that you will get what you think about. That we did an episode on that, and you did it. But what you didn't know was it wasn't actually the thing that was going to give you the feeling of that fulfillment and satisfaction. That's something separate. Now you can have both. That's what you coach. That's what you coach people is, of course you want the business. Of course you want it to look like that. No one's denying that. That's pretty much X's and O's, right? Ones and zeros. That's, if you do these things, you will have that. Having the fulfillment, that's going to be a different conversation that is required. And Bingo. It will help you get that vision much faster and much bigger, because you will be the kind of person that will be able to lead even more people, be able to have different ideas, and you'll have that feeling of fulfillment. And it's not a dollar sign. It's not a number. It's that feeling like you're talking about. It's that clarity in knowing, having purpose of which direction you want to go, and you know it's right and you know it's good. And man, kudos to you for sharing, because that's very vulnerable, man. You know, it's like you had to learn that, and you think the young guy, the 26-year-old you're sitting with, that's available for him. The next 2-3 years, he could be the one saying the same thing. Man, I was so prideful. I met someone that was able to teach me how to have that fulfillment.
Well, because we get like, you know, when I think of individuals that are 23, 24, 25, the first 2 or 3 years you're building a business and you just get in this routine, you're seeing what's working and what's not working, but you really don't understand it. Because the reason you don't understand it is because you're not looking at things at 30,000 feet. You're not working on your business. You're working in your business. So that eventually leads to the burnout, the lack of clarity, because it's like he told me on the call yesterday. I said, hey, let me ask you a question. Here's the number one question I ask all my coachees. I said, what does your business stand for? What do you want your business to do for you? What? Never been asked that question before.
I'm asking business owners that same question, getting the same response.
Every time I've had a conversation with a business owner, it's always money driven. Want to make 6 digits, want to make 7 digits. That's great, but that's a micro. That will come. The byproduct of that is focusing on the clarity and the vision and getting super clear on what it is, the purpose and the why. What's the cause behind your company? What does it stand for? What do you want your business to do for you, for your employees, for your community? Right?
And what do they have to do to have that? Slow down to go fast. And is the slow feel good or the slow feel bad? It feels, like Sean said earlier, it is painful to get the oil
painful.
change.
It's boring.
You got to stop. You have to sit there and wait and pay for nothing. But there is where all the oil that keeps everything lubricated, that makes you run at your highest top performance, tip-top performance. Your engine light will come on. It will tell you there's warning signs. The warning signs are you're feeling exhausted. You're feeling unfulfilled. You're not doing the things that you know you should do. You don't do them. You're burned out. You need that oil change. You need clarity. You need clear, fresh oil in the system. And that is what is missing. But like we talked about, it's painful to go do that, but it's devastatingly painful to not do it. It will have you crash and burn. And that's why 1 out of 100 businesses are still going after 10 years. The other 99, poof, gone, because they didn't stop. That's all they had to do was get that clarity and the purpose. And they never did it. And they could still be going. It could have been something very special, and it's been lost because they weren't willing to have the pain of slowing down. So this episode is not about like hurting. It's about that emotional, and good leaders, the best leaders, they're able to sit with the uncomfortability. They're able to be patient and wait for the results, because they know what at the end of it is the clarity and the vision. Working out to do a high rocks and working out to do a triathlon without actually going to compete is burnout. You don't push yourself that hard for nothing. You will stop. There's no purpose behind it. You got to have that vision. You got to have the clarity, the purpose, the support, right? All those things that that you provide your coachees.
One of the things that he said on the call yesterday was that I found fascinating. He goes, and I think it's a Michael Jordan quote. He goes, and he understood when I told him, I was like, it's uncomfortable. It's scary. This is painful, right? Being able to swipe the card and being told this is a big pill to swallow. And he agreed, of course. And he even agreed with me. He goes, you're right. He goes, you miss the shots you don't take. And the analogy was that is investing himself. He goes, this is an intangible. I've never hired a coach or a mentor before. I've never been a part of something like this. But again, you miss the shots you don't take. You can keep doing the same thing over and over, right? And expecting different results. And in my mind, that's pleasure. That's comfort. That's what led me to the couch.
Spot on, dude.
And the discomfort had to come. And that was, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm going to get uncomfortable. I'm going to get out of this mind of pleasure. And I'm going to shock the system. I'm going to do something hard. I'm going to do something that I don't want to do. And I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to fail forward. If I pay this $3,000, I'm going to learn so much. And that was my mentality. And that's what we basically came to on the call. Whether he does it or not, that's his, that's going to be his decision. But the point is that's the separator, is the ones that continue to get discomfort and stay in that. I've heard Robert Kiyosaki say that on his podcast, I stay in discomfort every single day. And I never understood that, right? As a business owner and entrepreneur. And here recently, I'm like, oh, that's what it means. He stays discomfort. He keeps himself in uncomfortability, right? Whether you think you're ready for it or not, if it's aligned with who you're wanting to become and the things that you're wanting to do or get out of, maybe you're feeling stuck, lost, unfulfilled, then I don't care what it is. You've got to challenge yourself. You've got to get out of that comfortability, that pleasure, and go do something that's going to be discomfortable.
And it's never ending. It's like, this is true for every human being for the rest of their lives. Like, I will forever be looking for the discomfort. And I know where I'm being comfortable and I know where I'm not. And I'm learning to really love. I know what it is to love pain. I know I love to suffer in certain areas. There's areas I don't. And those are the areas I'm trying to embrace. And it takes work. It's painful to do it, but I know it's the only way to level up. It's the only way it's going to take me to where I want to go. Otherwise, I'm going to sit in real pain until I decide to get out of it. That's just a fact. That's true for every human being. There's no special cases. We all have to keep doing it, and that's what the best do.
Yeah, amen to that, brother. And I'll leave you with this. I would just say, I always look at it as failing forward, right? And so when you get in these discomfortable, uncertain challenges, it could be a triathlon, it could be a coaching call, it could be a coaching environment, coaching group community, whatever it may be. I've never done that before. Or, this is uncomfortability. There's an intangible. I'm like 60, 70%, like I'm 60, 70%, guys. I'm just not at 30, 40%. I don't think, in my belief, you'll never be at 100%. You'll never be at 100% opening up that business. You'll never be at 100% of that coaching, investing in yourself. You'll never be at 100% at that podcast. You'll never be at 100% at starting the triathlon, but you can be 60, 70%, 80%. And then guess what? That other 30, 40%, that is where the growth happens. That is where you happen. The version of me that doesn't do these things, I'm still sitting on the couch 5 years ago. To me, man, right? And then the guy, both are going to be both are hard. Both paths are hard. Pleasure and pain is hard. Both paths are hard. But which one's going to pay the biggest dividends, and which one's going to snowball? Which version is going to snowball the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years?
And to throw into that pain, man, to decipher, pain is being clear on what you're talking about. Pain is when you're clear on what you need to do and you can push through. Not being clear, not pushing through, that's suffering. You don't want to suffer.
Yes.
You want pain in your life, but you don't want to suffer. That's just sitting in pain, doing nothing about it and burning out.
Yeah. Beautiful, man. Well, hey, for the sake of time, we are out of time, man. We could just keep going on and on. Thank you so much for listening to this. If you've enjoyed today's show, please make sure you comment on if you're watching this on YouTube or if you're on Facebook, you're watching the clips. drop it in the comments and let us know. Shoot us a DM, text our line, 936-788-4295. That's 936-788-4295 on what you've taken away from the show, what you're applying in your own life. And again, if you need help, reach out, 936-788-4295. We're here to help. We're here to guide you. We're here to support you. Please like and subscribe. And then on top of that, share this with a friend. Share this with another entrepreneur, another business owner, somebody that you're thinking about, that maybe could use this message, that punch in the mouth, that's maybe a little egotistical, a little prideful. You know, if you know any of those 20-year-olds like I was, I'm just talking to myself here, okay? I'm not talking to you. Maybe I am. I'm talking to my younger self because I'll be the first to admit, I'll share my struggles. I'll share my vulnerabilities. You know, I'll call my own self out. My coach did. So I'd rather my coach than my wife, you know?
and ditto, same here, man. I'm an open book too. You know, it's like, it's the only way to be.
Yep.
Only way to be.
All right. Level up and live.
Level up and live.